Let's get right over to Republican Congressman Matt Gaetz. Congressman, I'm glad you're here tonight because you are a key figure in all this, and maybe the key figure in all this. But not all of your own Republican colleagues are happy with what you've been doing. Your Republican colleague, Representative Mike Lawler, was pretty tough on you today. He said, quote, "There's only one person to blame for any potential government shutdown, and that's Matt Gaetz. He's not a conservative Republican. He's a charlatan." So you're driving a heck of a wedge into your party with this. Why is it worth it?
I guess we've reached the biblical insults portion of this standoff. Look, I think Mike Lawler is a fine guy. He's pretty new to the Congress. And I think what he's going to learn is that we are experiencing a rhythm that has put the American people $33 trillion in debt. We're facing $2.2 trillion annual deficits. Just last month, we saw the BRICS system that is working toward de-dollarization add 6 new countries, including Gulf monarchies and even additional economies, G20 economies here in the Western Hemisphere. And I worry about de-dollarization becoming a trend fueled by this debt. That is something that will crush all Americans. So I don't want a shutdown. I'm not a cheerleader for a shutdown. It looks like we're going to have one. I want it to be as short as possible. But I know the only way to rescue ourselves from financial ruin is to pass single subject spending bills that are able to be reviewed at a programmatic level.
Look, there's been a lot of analysis out there all week long, right? This is definitely about spending, definitely about border security, but a lot of analysis is that this is just personal between you and Kevin McCarthy. What is it about the speaker that you just don't like so much?
Nothing. He's actually quite a charming guy, but I am concerned that he hasn't been true to a deal he made to become Speaker of the House. There was a group of us very concerned about our nation's fiscal path forward when Kevin McCarthy wanted to become Speaker, and because he's so beholden to lobbyists and special interests, we were worried that he would put their priorities over our priorities and the priorities of the American people. So we made him agree to spending guardrails. He has blown through those guardrails, and even worse, Kevin McCarthy has made multiple contradictory promises to the White House, to appropriators, to House conservatives. And because he made those multiple contradictory promises, we weren't able to start the budgeting and appropriations process on time. So it is by design that Kevin McCarthy brought us to this moment to put our backs against the wall against shutdown politics. So again, it's nothing personal. I'll still send him a Christmas card, but we do need to get compliance with the agreement he made for fiscal sanity.
Look, Politico reported today, this is a little bit of inside baseball, but they're saying that you were going around canvassing with Democrats to talk to them about how they might vote if there was an effort to bring down Speaker McCarthy. Is that true? And don't you think that that is going to make your fellow Republicans just more angry with you if you're seen as being in cahoots with the Dems?
I think I am probably the last guy to be accused of being beloved by the Democrats in Washington, D.C. They
not
hate
beloved
me.
by, but maybe
they
in cahoots with,
me.
right? If you're talking to them
I can
about a vote.
deny that. I can deny that categorically. I have made no deal with Democrats. I would never make a deal with Democrats.
You haven't talked to any Democrats about how they would vote?
The subject has come up as Democrats have come up to me saying that they really believe McCarthy to be dishonest too. They want to know my plans. And honestly, here's what I've told Democrats. I've said my focus is on these single subject spending bills. I want to postpone motion to vacate politics until we get these bills reviewed, over to the Senate, taken up. So my focus isn't on all that. We're going to have to deal with that because McCarthy brought us to this moment, and we're going to have to hold him accountable. But right now, when I have tens of thousands of constituents that might not get a paycheck, I'm really trying to get the Senate to take up our defense appropriations bill, our homeland security appropriations bill, our veterans appropriations bill. I want our embassies still to be open. We've passed a Department of State appropriations bill, but the way to do this is one agency at a time, not with like one up or down vote to fund the entire government. That's ridiculous, and it's what got us in this trouble.
What did those Democrats tell you when this came up in conversation? Did they tell you, is there any chance that they would work with you somehow on an effort to bring down Speaker McCarthy? Is that in the cards this weekend?
I'll be honest, I said publicly on the floor that I expect Democrats to actually step in and save Kevin McCarthy, because he's willing to work for everyone. When you believe in nothing, you're sort of willing to take any group of employers that are willing to have you. So Kevin will be happy to use Democrat votes to count to 218 if it comes to that. But again, my focus really right now, my call is to Senator Schumer. Senator Schumer, do not wait. Take up this veterans bill. Take up this bill to get our military paid. That is what we should be focused on, not the accountability that will have to be visited on Kevin McCarthy in the weeks ahead. We have a more pressing matter.
That seems like it's unlikely to happen. Is there anything that Kevin McCarthy could offer you over the next 24 hours that you would take to head off a government shutdown at this point?
Well, I mean, we would head off a government shutdown if the Senate did UCs on our bills. So that would head it off. What I'm trying to do is break the fever dream that is the continuing resolution way of governing. Since the mid-90s, this country has been governed by omnibus spending bill or continuing resolution. That's why we're so in debt, because we've designed a system where no one is really responsible for the spending. I'm trying to hold people accountable to their votes at a programmatic level, bill by bill. They hate it in Washington, D.C. They probably hate me, but honestly, I fear the judgment of history if we don't fix this and fix it pretty quick before the American dream is vanquished.
Congressman, we've got to go. One last quick question for you, though. Are you going to take your paycheck during the government shutdown?
No, I've already sent notice to the clerk that I want my paycheck withheld. I have served in Congress during other government shutdowns, and I always have my pay withheld during a shutdown because I got so many military and civil servants in my district that will see a cash flow interference from this. That's why I want to get it resolved as soon as possible.
Congressman Matt Gaetz, thanks so much for being here. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Now let's